Right now, there is a small island sitting roughly 100 miles off the coast of China. Its population is smaller than Texas. Its land area is smaller than Maryland. Most people could not point to it on a map. Yet a disruption there could affect everything from smartphones and cars to artificial intelligence and military technology. That island is Taiwan. When Taiwan appears in the news, the conversation usually focuses on politics. China claims Taiwan as part of its territory. Taiwan operates with its own government, military, and economy. The United States maintains a deliberately complicated relationship with both sides. Those political tensions are important, but they are not the whole story. The real reason Taiwan matters so much is hidden inside nearly every piece of modern technology you use. Computer chips, tiny pieces of silicon packed with billions of transistors. They power your phone, your laptop, your car, the servers that run the internet, the data centers training artificial intelligence. Modern civilization runs on semiconductors, and the most advanced semiconductors on Earth are largely manufactured in Taiwan. To understand how that happened, you have to understand one company, TSMC, the Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. You have probably never bought a product from TSMC. You have probably never seen one of its advertisements. Yet there is a good chance you use products that depend on its factories every single day. Apple relies on TSMC to manufacture the chips inside iPhones and Macs. NVIDIA relies on TSMC for many of the chips powering the AI revolution. AMD relies on TSMC. Qualcomm relies on TSMC. Some of the largest technology companies on Earth depend on a company most people have never heard of. Why? Because manufacturing advanced chips is one of the hardest things humans have ever attempted. A modern semiconductor factory is not just a factory. It is a technological miracle. Engineers must work in environments cleaner than operating rooms. A single speck of dust can destroy a chip. The machinery is so precise that it measures structures just a few nanometers wide. That is thousands of times thinner than a human hair. The most advanced factories cost tens of billions of dollars to build. And even if you have the money, you still need decades of expertise. That combination of cost, knowledge, and engineering difficulty creates an enormous barrier to entry. Very few companies can compete. Even fewer can lead. Over time, TSMC became the best manufacturer in the world. The more customers it attracted, the more money it earned. The more money it earned, the more it invested in better factories. The better its factories became, the more customers arrived. It was a powerful cycle. Year after year, the gap widened. Then something unexpected happened. The entire world became dependent on semiconductors. Not just computers, everything. Cars became rolling computers. Medical devices became digital. Factories became automated. Financial systems moved online. Cloud computing exploded. Artificial intelligence emerged as one of the most important technologies of the century. And all of it required chips. For years, most people never thought about where those chips came from. Then the COVID pandemic changed that. Factories shut down. Shipping slowed. Demand shifted. Supply chains broke. Suddenly, companies everywhere found themselves competing for semiconductors. Automakers could not finish vehicles. Electronics companies delayed products. Prices increased. Wait times grew longer. For the first time, millions of people realized how much modern life depended on a fragile global supply chain. That realization changed how governments viewed semiconductors. Chips were no longer just commercial products. They became strategic assets. A country with access to advanced chips gains advantages in computing, research, artificial intelligence, communications, and national defense. Modern fighter jets contain advanced semiconductors. Missile systems contain advanced semiconductors. Satellite networks contain advanced semiconductors. Military power increasingly depends on computing power, and computing power depends on chips. That is why governments around the world suddenly started paying attention. The United States passed major legislation to support domestic semiconductor manufacturing. Europe launched its own initiatives. Japan increased investment. South Korea expanded production. Countries that once treated chips as a business issue began treating them as a national security issue. And sitting at the center of all those concerns was Taiwan. Because while the semiconductor industry is global, Taiwan occupies a uniquely important position. The designs may come from American companies. The software tools may come from other countries. The raw materials may come from somewhere else entirely. But when it comes to manufacturing the most advanced chips, Taiwan has become the critical link in the chain. That creates a difficult question. What happens if that chain breaks? No one knows exactly. But economists, governments, and corporations spend enormous amounts of time thinking about it. A major disruption would not just affect Taiwan. It could affect entire industries across the globe. Technology companies could face shortages. Automakers could face delays. AI development could slow, supply chains could be thrown into chaos. That possibility helps explain why Taiwan receives so much international attention. The stakes are enormous. Some analysts describe Taiwan's position as a silicon shield. The theory is simple. Taiwan's semiconductor industry is so important that many countries have a strong incentive to preserve stability. The global economy benefits from keeping those factories operating. Whether that theory is ultimately correct remains debated, but it highlights a remarkable reality. A tiny island became one of the most strategically important places on Earth, not because of oil, gold, or natural resources. It became important because of engineering, because of manufacturing, because of semiconductors, and Taiwan's importance may be growing. Artificial intelligence is dramatically increasing demand for advanced chips. Training large AI models requires enormous amounts of computing power. That computing power requires cutting-edge semiconductors. The more capable AI becomes, the more valuable advanced chip manufacturing becomes. As a result, Taiwan sits at the intersection of several of the most important trends shaping the future: artificial intelligence, economic competition, national security, advanced manufacturing, global supply chains. Few places have ever occupied such a critical position in the world economy. Which brings us back to the original question: why is every country paying attention to Taiwan? The answer is not just politics. It is technology. It is economics. It is artificial intelligence. It is the invisible infrastructure supporting modern life. Every notification on your phone, every online purchase, every cloud server processing data, every AI model generating answers, all of them depend on a vast technological system. And somewhere inside that system, there is a very good chance Taiwan played a role. People often assume the most valuable resources in the world are physical things. Land, gold. But the 21st century may be defined by something different: computing power. And computing power begins with semiconductors. So the next time you unlock your phone, open your laptop, or ask an AI system a question, remember that a small island off the coast of China helped make that moment possible. Most people could not find it on a map. Yet the future of the digital world may depend on it. If you enjoyed this video, consider liking and subscribing for more deep dives into the hidden systems shaping the modern world. And here's my question for you: if Taiwan's semiconductor factories stopped operating tomorrow, which industry do you think would feel the impact first? Let me know in the comments.